Geography tutorial for grade 11 students. Welcome to students. Don't forget to subscribe, to share and like. Let's study and revise the lessons that we have learned in a class before. Students, you have to pay your consideration and as well as warm attention. Good. 1. Rodina is the first continent that was formed following the solidification of cosmic rocks. Another, Pangea, was formed in Paleozoic era and broken into two to the Laurasia and the Gondwana land in Mesozoic eras. There is large ratio of water surface in southern hemisphere. As a result, southern hemisphere is known with having moderate climate, whereas there is large land ratios in northern hemisphere. Another point, the criteria used by an empirical classification system are temperature, precipitation, and air masses. Air masses, precipitation, and temperature are the major criteria that are used in empirical climate classification for the purpose of classifying the world climate. Good. Another new thing is that Earth's continents have retained their present position during the quaternary period of the beginning Cenozoic eras. Okay, another, with the increasing of altitude, 1. Pressure becomes decreases, rainfall increases, and temperature decreases. Fauna and flora are expected to increases. Vegetation also increases. I repeat once. With the increasing of altitude, 1. Pressure decreases, air pressure, which means rainfall or moisture increases, temperature decreases, fauna, flora are increases, vegetation coverage are increases. Another, what you have to study is about the climatic zones. Climatic zones are categorized into subregions. The first classification of climate in the world is low latitude climate zone. Low latitude climate zone includes 1. Tropical wet region, 2. Tropical wet and dry region, 3. Tropical dry desert and steppe regions. So let's see one by one these subdivision of or subcategories of low latitude climates. 1. Tropical wet region is geographically located between north 6 degree north and 6 degree south, between north and south, which means this has high daily temperature which ranges from 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Monthly temperature ranging from 24 to 28 degree Celsius. It has high precipitation that reaches about 80 inches of total rainfall. The dominant type of vegetation found here are the equatorial rainforest vegetation, which are known with having tall, broad-leaved, and evergreen trees. Okay, in this area, the forests are categorized into 3: the high canopy, the middle canopy, and the low canopies. Okay, the second climatic region of low latitude climate zone is tropical wet and dry region. Geographically, this is located between 6 and 15 degree north and south latitudes. The seasonal patterns of moisture is influenced by the migration of ITCZ. Okay, in this region, the migration of ITCZ is a major factor for seasonal patterns of moisture variabilities. Another, dry desert and steppe regions. This is geographically found and located between 50 up to 25 north and south both hemisphere. This is known with features of having low relative humidity and cloud cover, low frequency and amount of precipitation, high mean annual temperature, high monthly and daily temperatures, and also strong wind velocity, which describes the region. The second climatic region of the world is mid-latitude climatic region. This is again geographically found between 30 up to 55 north and south latitude. This includes mid-latitude wet region, mid-latitude winter dry summer, and mid-latitude desert and steppe, as well as the fourth mid-latitude summer dry. Students, it is better to see one by one. Mid-latitude wet region is categorized to mid-latitude climatic region. So this region is known with one, deciduous trees. Deciduous trees are the trees which have the capability to persist environmental factors and lost their leaves seasonally, which means within the difficulty of seasons they becomes losing their leaves. Why? Because in order to persist the dry climate of the environment. Another broadleaves like oaks, maples, beeches, hickories, and chestnuts are found here in the mid-latitude wet region, as we have learned in a class. The second subdivision of mid-latitude climatic region is mid-latitude winter dry. What are the major features of mid-latitude winter dry? And the other one is mid-latitude desert and steppe. This is also classified as between 30 and 55 north and south. This is characterized with low relative humidity and cloud cover, low frequency and low volume of precipitation, and a moderate to high average monthly temperature. Another, the fourth category of mid-latitude climate zone is mid-latitude summer dry, which is denoted by CS. The climate is commonly referred to as the Mediterranean climate. Okay, Mediterranean climate is known with having the inverse climatic condition with Ethiopia, which means the summer is dry and the winter is wet. The principle of original horizontality is another point that we have to see today in our tutorial class. So, the principle of original horizontality, if the bears are no longer horizontal, they have must undergo deformation after formation. Another, the overlying bed is usually younger than the underlying rock. The layer of the sediments are horizontally placed horizontally upper the action of gravity. Another thing that you have to study is about the stable and unstable isotopes. Okay, so the parent materials or parent isotopes, daughter or stable elements. You have to study. Good. Another point that you have to know is that the geological time scale main units. Okay, there are four main units of geological time scale. These are epochs, periods, eras, and reigns. Epochs are the smallest units of time in geological time scale. Periods are the clump together of epochs, which means it is the sum, the group of epochs forms periods in large units. Eras. Eras are the summation or the collection of periods, or periods are combined together and make era. Ions are the largest periods of geological time scale. So the smallest is epoch and the largest one is eons. Another what I wanted to remember you is the key elements that govern the distribution of world climate. Okay, so these are latitude, atmospheric circulation, Coriolis effect, rotation and revolution, as well as tilt of the earth, continentality or distance to the water body are the major elements that influence the distribution of world climates. Another, what's the influence of the earth's revolution on the climate when the sun is in northern hemisphere? So when the sun is found in northern hemisphere, one, the difference in day length from December to June is smaller for the areas found at the proximity of the equator. The proximity or the closer for areas which are found closer to the equator, there is no large difference in day lengths from December to June. And it is larger for the places which are found closer to the pole, which means far from the low latitudinal or from the equator. Good. In June, the daylight covers more than half of any parallel latitudes in the northern hemisphere. Due to this, there is longer daylight in northern hemisphere, but shorter darkness. I mean, shorter darkness in the region and a longer darkness in southern hemisphere half of for more than half of a parallel latitudes in the southern hemisphere. In December, more than half of any latitude in the northern hemisphere is in darkness, while more than half of in the southern hemisphere is in sunshine, which means when the sun is found in southern hemisphere, more than half of latitudes are found in longer daylight in southern hemisphere, and the night or the darkness is longer for northern hemisphere. As a result, the day or the length of the days giving the warming effect while the environment receives heat energy from the sun, and for those places which are found in darkness are remain cooler. Why? There is no warm or heat of the sun which can warm the environment. Due to this, high temperature and the low temperature, or the cooling temperature and The warming temperature are found due to the revolution of the earth as the earth becomes nearest to the sun or far from elliptically far from the angle of the sun. This event is expected to take place. Good. Another, what's the continentality's effects? One, what you have to understand is that inland areas are known as extremely continental areas. These are more quickly heats and quickly cool down than areas which are found in the proximity of huge water bodies. Inland locations have a wider temperature range than coastal areas. Coastal areas, while I'm saying that areas which are found nearest to the water bodies. Good. Another point, large water bodies are storing massive amount of energy during the hotter summer. Why? Because during the hotter summer, while I say that here the sun becomes perpendicularly overhead to the environment. As a result, the areas or the locations are expected to receive high heat energies. Due to this, water surfaces are expected to store their warming energies and releasing this warm energy slowly to the atmosphere during the cooler season or time. This cooler time is winter, okay, where the angle of the sun or the rays of the sun is becomes slantingly or obliquely reached on the surface of the earth. Another point, two places in Ethiopia are found on the same latitude, but they vary in temperature. What makes it this? For example, Addis Ababa, Bako, and Awash are found as the same latitude and different altitudes. Addis Ababa 2200, but its temperature is 16 degree Celsius. Bako 1800, its temperature is 17 degrees Celsius. Awash, it is found at 916, but its temperature is the maximum than the others, 25 degrees Celsius. What affects this variation of temperature is its altitudinal difference rather than its similarity of latitude. So in Ethiopia, altitude is the significant factor that influencing the temperature variabilities or the climate variabilities. If the precipitation of the driest months of a place is 2 inches, the climate type would be known as tropical monsoon climate, which denotes by AM. But if the areas are driest months, which had a little precipitation of especially less than 0.74 inches, it would be tropical wet and dry or savanna that denotes by AW. Another, Köppen's climate classification method is commonly used due to the reasons of that it is a straightforward and quantitative method. One, another, Köppen climate classification has ability to provide a clear and quantifiable data that everyone can understand. Good. So it is familiar and more commonly utilized. Good. Another issue here, genetic climate classification is more difficult to implement as well as it has less successful implementation. Another, Three waters classification is one, it combines or using data by combines the empirical and the genetic climatic classification. This three waters climatic classification is simple to use it and more popular among the geographers. Hot summer and third order subdivision in mesothermal climate condition. There are three orders of mesothermals. Okay, the first A, the second denoted by B. Okay, the others are there also. But for the sake of my study, here we are going to see about A and B, the first orders. I mean, third orders of mesothermal subdivision. A is denoted by humid subtropical, which means summer. Okay, warm humid summer with frequent thunderstorms. Precipitation is coming from mid-latitude cyclones. This is denoted by A. Okay, a hot summer and the third order subdivision is denoted by A. Okay, a marine west coast that denoted by CFB is B. Okay, so this is characterized by humidity, short dry summer, and persistency. Mid-latitude cyclones causes to winter rain. So the winter rain and the third order subdivision of mesothermal climate is known as marine west coast. Good. Another point. Another point is it is better to see about the Proterozoic, Phanerozoic, Hadean, and the like. So Proterozoic is the geological time which is known as before the emergence of life on the earth. The amount of incoming sunlight energy reflected by the surface is called albedo. Student, the other you have to study about another factors that influencing the distribution of climate in the world as I have mentioned earlier. Thank you, students. Goodbye. Goodbye, students.